I'll tell you a funny little story about Merle and Elmer. Merle, of course, see, Elmer was 14 years old when Merle was born. He was a sophomore in high school. Well, he smoked, and when Merle was about 5 or 6, he'd always want to blow out the match. So Elmer let him blow out the match when he'd light his cigarette or his pipe. So one day he got the match too close to his nose and burned it. And Merle said, "I'll get even with you. I'll get even with you." So one day Elmer was shaving, and he just had on a t-shirt. And they had little bitty kittens, so he went and got a cat and threw on Elmer's back and then grabbed it by the tail and jerked it down Elmer's back. And you can imagine what, he had cat scratches clear down his back. And he carried those scars the rest of his life.
Probably hurt worse than that little match. Okay, well this might be your side. I can't know who that is. I gotta get that in there. This is the one I didn't know.
Right. That's Grandpa and Grandma Snodgrass. And Sue and Lou and Jean and Robert.
Or Donna? No. I think it's Alberta and Donna, don't you think?
Uh-huh. Well,
Sue and Lou and Jean and Donna Mae and Alberta.
That's Alberta in the back holding Donna, Herber and Minnie Snodgrass seated with Lou, Jean, and Sue in the foreground.
Okay. And Grandpa and Grandma.
And Grandpa and Grandma.
Yeah, I think that's actually labeled in the back. Now, Donna, Alberta is your only sister.
Donna's the only one of Alberta's that's here.
That was born then.
Oh, okay.
She had twins later.
Right.
Herber and Minnie Snodgrass, mother's grandparents, those were the first funerals I went to. And they laid them out at home. They came after they took them off to this mortuary, and then they brought the casket back and set it on chairs in the living room.
They did that all the time. At that time, they always had brought the bodies back and kept them in the house until funeral time.
What did you say his name was? It's Ina's husband?
No.
Oh.
No, it was Walter's parents. Walter is her dad, Walter Snodgrass, and this is Herber and Minnie.
That's my
that's your great-grandparents.
Yes, it's our great-grandparents, her grandparents.
And Minnie was Heber's second wife, right? Because our grandfather's mother died early on when they lived in Illinois.
I don't know, Nebraska, I think.
Okay, this one. This has a date of 44 on the back, so that must have
Yes,
been-
we remember that.
Yeah.
Grandpa Red's mother and his brother.
That's Merle.
Merle.
And those were Lou's and my first, we called them jeans because they were slacks. They were the first trousers we ever had to wear. Mother made them.
Here's a closer look at what passed for jeans in the 1940s and a look at Merle's cool car.
And they bid, weren't they?
Bib, yeah, they had bibs. Everybody.
Did you wear matching clothes a lot?
A lot.
What was material?
Well, I don't know. It was kind of a light with a polka dot.
Yeah, it was kind of a tannish brown, and it had a little figure in it, and then I think you put some brown trim around the bed. And we were so excited because we never got to wear pants, you know, but when we were out on the farm, we could wear these kind of like bibbed overalls, only they were much more feminine.
She made
Don't look over here.
She made them for us, especially because after we got, no, that was before we had the skates. But I remember we got those because that was so. I remember those pants because she made them before. Well, I guess it was before Dad came home from the service, because when I was in first grade, Dad was in the service. And we had play day, the last day of school. And I only could wear a dress. I mean, I could only wear pants if I would come home at noon. And so I wore an old dress that morning and then walked home and changed into my pants for play day and walked back to school.
And this was kind of neat because Merle had a car.
Yes.
It was a pretty neat car.
Merle was like the big high school athlete and stuff,
Uh-huh.
right? So he was a hottie.
Well, I don't know if he was an athlete or not. I didn't,
ball.
but I'm sure.
And he played football.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that, you know, it was so neat. Mom Rouse doted on him quite a bit. And he would come in and he would want something sweet. And they didn't, you know, have any candy. And so she would take sugar and dry cocoa and mix it up. And he would eat that out of a spoon. Just sugar and dry cocoa. And
Well, one time when he played football, he got his nose broken, and they put sticks up his nose and then bent across there. And he came home and he didn't tell Mom, and he just went to bed. And so the next morning, Mom was going to get him up to go to school, and when she went in there he was with those sticks sticking out of his nose and his face all bandaged. She said, "I almost fainted."
I wonder why he wouldn't have mentioned that. I think he would
he
have.
probably came in later than he was supposed to.
This one goes back a ways.